Vin, Starbrand Hulk, origin explored. Today we're going to be talking about Vin, the earliest Hulk. He was the strongest out of the prehistoric Avengers, and we're going to explore his story in depth. We all know who the Avengers are. They have created a franchise so large that they're hard to ignore. The Avengers are perhaps the mightiest heroes that the Earth has to offer. They first made an appearance nearly 60 years ago, but the Avengers that we know and love today aren't the first iteration of this team. The very first known iteration is one that was formed over 1 million years ago, and it included the main man of this video, Vin, the Starbrand Hulk, who was possibly the most tragic iteration of Hulk. Now, one thing that must be made clear is the fact that Vin was never referred to by the name of Hulk after he transformed. His fellow Avengers only referred to him as Starbrand, but there are a number of reasons to believe that he might be connected to the Hulks. Vin, the prehistoric age's Starbrand, was a character who was endowed with not only a cosmic superpower, but also rage that could go head-to-head with the Hulk. This rage Vin possessed was due to a tragedy that had become a big part of his origin. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Vin Starbrand? In issue number 26 of Avengers, written by Jason Aaron, which was published in 2019 on November 20th, we meet Vin as well as Burke. The two were cavemen who decided that it would be best for them to leave their respective tribes because they believed that they were different from their prehistoric brethren in ways that they wouldn't understand. Vin, the smaller and more intelligent of the two, is the one who gets some kind of psychic call to a beautiful paradise that resembles Eden, where he and Burke momentarily experience an ideal existence. Unfortunately, the tranquility of the lovers is shattered when marauding deviants, Marvel's terrible and sinister counterpart to the more virtuous Eternals, appear. After being initially driven away by the hulking warrior Burke, the deviants quickly continue their assault from underneath the ground with a drilling machine. The attack results in Burke's death and reveals the corpse of a T-Rex, which has been revealed earlier in issue number 26 of Avengers, revealed to be Earth's first wielder of the Starbrand. The Starbrand is a brand that grants its bearer powers that is limited only by the bearer's own mind. Vin makes his way into the pit in the hopes of rescuing his lover Burke, but instead, he discovers Burke dead. After that, the power of the Starbrand is transferred to him through the dinosaur's corpse. After his transformation, he was given the hero title Starbrand, yet he has a remarkable similarity to another Marvel hero, the Incredible Hulk. We know that Vin got his Starbrand power from the corpse of a T-Rex possessing it, but how did the T-Rex become the owner of his power? It was 66 million years before the present when the asteroid that carried the power of the Starbrand was called to Earth. The subsequent impact triggered a mass extinction that wiped out the majority of life on the planet, including the dinosaurs. The power of the Starbrand was passed to a T-Rex, and it was from this T-Rex that Vin obtained the Starbrand. The T-Rex used its power to protect the planet from those who would try to harm it. After a period of time, the T-Rex passed away, and in its place, a mystical oasis known as the Garden began to grow. 65 million years later, when the Starbrand had claimed its second host, Vin, the Garden was destroyed. While Vin was a human, he was a pacifist who was unwilling to kill, not even to save his own life. When he was about to starve to death, Vin displayed a degree of intelligence that was above that of a normal human, and he never ceased to amaze Burke, who possessed the same talent with his ability to discover unexpected uses for the strange plants that were growing in the garden. Burke was someone Vin loved more than anything else in the world, and after Burke was killed, Vin became obsessed with hatred and rage against the world, taking his anger out on anyone who posed a threat to the world. Even after he learned there were others just like him, Vin's sense of loneliness only increased, and he frequently spent his time sulking and lamenting the death of the one person he'd cared about in all his life. When it came to Vin's abilities as a Starbrand owner, it appeared that they were the same as those that a conventional Starbrand owner would have. However, along with the tremendous power he obtained from Starbrand, he also gained a number of vulnerabilities. He was now unable to speak in a normal manner and was only capable of grunting. Although Phoenix has the ability to read his mind and may be able to communicate with him telepathically, it appears that only his fellow teammate Iron Fist is able to comprehend him. However, during flashbacks, it is apparent that he is having conversations with his lover that are in full sentences. This storyline about Vin, the Starbrand Hulk, is part of a story that started in the line-wide relaunch Marvel had in 2017-2018 Marvel Relaunch. launch. It is revealed to us in Legacy that Odin, Thor's father, once commanded a prehistoric team of Avengers that featured the Phoenix Force, Ghost Rider riding a woolly mammoth, the first Sorcerer Supreme Earth had, Agamotto, the first Iron Fist, Wakanda's first Black Panther, and of course, Starbrand. Throughout the course of the currently running series of the Avengers, the tale may occasionally deviate from the here and now in order to recount the origins of one of the prehistoric heroes. And Starbrand gets his moment to shine in Avengers number 26. The New Universe imprint that Marvel published during the mid-1980s is when the name Starbrand first appeared. The Starbrand was a hero who had been given a power that seemed to have no limits, and the only thing that could stop him was the limits of his imagination. The events in the comic book series Starbrand occurred outside of Marvel's main continuity. However, when Jonathan Hickman was writing the Avengers volume that debuted in 2013, he brought the concept to Earth 616. And in the one-shot issue of Marvel Legacy published in 2018, the most recent Starbrand hero had been killed. However, future Avengers promotions had pointed to a new Starbrand-centered narrative that was titled Starbrand Reborn. Starbrand Reborn. Following the introduction of Vin and learning how he came to possess the Starbrand power in Avengers number 26, we dive straight into Starbrand Reborn, stretching issues number 27 to issue number 30 of the Avengers 2018. The story arc gives us exactly what its name suggests, a look at other characters who possess the Starbrand power. In this arc, we'll be treated to an incredible space adventure that will take the Avengers into a massive alien prison, Shi'ar, which is the size of a galaxy, in which a mysterious new wielder of the all-powerful Starbrand has suddenly emerged, unleashing cosmic disaster. This adventure leads the Avengers to Suzanne, the one in possession of the all-powerful Starbrand. Previous Starbrand of planet Earth, Kevin Connor, had passed away some time before. At the same time that Suzanne was going into labor while she was being transported to the Raven Star maximum security prison galaxy, she underwent a change that caused her to become the new Starbrand. This transition set her on a road of destruction, and she attempted to gain control of her new destructive abilities. The Avengers eventually ended up helping Suzanne give birth to her baby by assisting with the delivery. During labor, Suzanne passed away, and the Starbrand was passed on to her newborn daughter. The arc ends with the arrival of Brandy, the newest addition to the list of characters that have the power of Starbrand. The Avengers brought the child back to Earth with them in order to assist her in mastering her new ability, and they gave her the name Brandy. Among other things that happen in this arc, we see a return of the prehistoric Avengers for a brief moment on Earth, but this time, a million years later, in the same timeline as the Avengers that we now know and love. Things to know about the Starbrand. Starbrand was never truly intended to be a part of the Marvel Universe. Rather, it was designed to serve as the flagship publication for a whole new line of comics that would lead to the creation of a new universe. The power of the Starbrand, when it was initially introduced in the new universe, granted its user a significantly increased lifespan. The person known as the Old Man is recognized as being the first known owner of the Starbrand. This individual was reported to have held on to the Starbrand for a number of centuries before finally getting tired of the power it offered. The immense power of the Starbrand would bring about an event known as the White Event, caused by the Old Man as he tried to get rid of the power of Starbrand without giving it to an actual person. The White Event resulted in a bunch of individuals among humanity gaining extraordinary abilities. Later on, we would see this scenario take place again, but this time it would be in Warren Ellis's New Universal, where the Starbrand was intended to guide humanity once the laws of physics on their planet changed as a result of coming into touch with unusual matter. Wendell Vaughn was one of the characters that had the opportunity to wield the enormous power that comes with holding Starbrand. As of obtaining power from the Child of Eternity and Infinity and being given the title of Protector of the Universe weren't enough for him, he also briefly possessed the powers of the Starbrand. During one of his adventures, he was accidentally transferred to the new universe, and the power of the Starbrand was the only one that was capable of successfully sending him back home. Vaughn went in search of the person who had the power and found Jim Hanrahan, a man who had never utilized the power because he was afraid of what it could cause. Vaughn spent hours trying to persuade him that he was a person of good enough character to be handed landed the Starbrand, and once Jim handed it to him, he was able to use it to transport himself back home. After Quasar was granted the abilities to help him escape the new universe and return to his own, it appeared as though the powers had lost some of their strength. Wendell was under the impression that this was due to the fact that those powers had reached their peak on his return to Earth, but in reality, they were only being covered by the Quasar bands, which sealed them off. Now, the reason why these powers couldn't have been transferred to a different spot on his body is unknown, which is a little bit silly considering the power the Starbrand is supposedly capable of, but he accidentally transferred the powers to his secretary as soon as he landed back on Earth. As soon as the Starbrand was introduced into the Marvel Universe by Quasar, it began to travel quickly from one person to the next. After some time, it made its way into the possession of the Stranger, who harnessed its great power to bring the Earth of the new universe into the Marvel Prime Universe so that he could study it. This causes the Living Tribunal to take notice, and they label the power a threat to the greater cosmic powers of the Marvel Universe. As a result, they quarantine that world from the rest of the Marvel multiverse in order to protect themselves from the threat. Reed Richards was also able to get his hands on the power at one point, but not in the way that you might expect. Reed chose to put his brilliant mind to use during Jonathan Hickman's first Fantastic Four storyline, which was titled Solve Everything. Reed's goal was to try to find a solution to any issue that existed anywhere in the universe. As a consequence of this, he found himself face to face with the Council of Reeds, which consisted of numerous versions of himself from different timelines who had all arrived at the same decision regarding their overall intelligence. These Reeds were all unique from one another, and among these many variations, one of them had acquired the power of the Starbrand. Sadly, it was of little use to him when the Reeds made contact with the Celestials of a particular universe. The Starbrand was incorporated in the Marvel Universe properly during Hickman's Avengers, and this was done in tandem with the arrival of a new white event. The outcome of this event would be that Kevin Connor would obtain the power, but in the process, he would wipe out his entire college. Even though this would ordinarily cause the Avengers to regard the Starbrand as a threat, they are told that the Starbrand is actually a defense mechanism for the planet when it is in severe danger. This information changes the Avengers' perspective. In support of this claim, we would subsequently see that residents of other planets also acquired Starbrand's power for the purpose of defending their homeworlds. Conclusion: the Starbrand is not as well known as some of the other weapons in the Marvel Universe, but it is an incredibly strong weapon and an essential part of the universe. In the Marvel Universe, there is no shortage of heroes to choose from. Even when it may appear that we know all of them, another one suddenly appears with a history that spans what seems like decades. Like the character of Starbrand, who, while being one of the most powerful heroes in the Marvel Universe, had been put on the back burner for years. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.